Good morning. It's March 10th, 2017. My name is Jim Whitley. I'm going to share with you some of my morning notes. As always, be sure you're trading your plan. You know, each day I throw out alongside of this video in a separate post, there's a signals page along with some charts. Just to review the rules of that, the Whitley trading signals are based on a combination of the MACD and the slope of the 22-bar EMA. So a buy signal, or shall we say mindset, is projected when those two indicators sync. We'll take a look at what that means in a moment. This is what that signal page would look like. As you can see today, I'm only coming in to today with some VTI and some SPY. It's jobs report day. I don't like to carry too much into events like this, so we'll see what happens in the aftermath of it, if we want to trade around these positions or not. But I put a couple check marks here by some things that we may want to take a look at today. A lot of the indexes still have a buy signal or a buying mindset on the weekly. Things are kind of neutralized on the daily. Outside of IWM, I mean, that's kind of flipping, and it's actually showing a sell mindset on the daily right now. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, anything can change on a jobs report Friday. Real estate also has been pretty weak. IBB, this is going to be an interesting to look at here today, along with financials and utilities. But if we look at the charts, I mean, just to explain that signal a little bit, this is a weekly chart of the total stock market, the VTI. You can see this MACD, like this red line, whenever that red line crosses and whenever that red line stays above that blue line like this, that's one of my indicators that I'll say, okay, that's a buy. Now, along with that, I would also have to have 22, this blue line here, this 22 bar moving average. We'd like to see that sloping up too. So when that syncs with that, that's why I have a buying mindset on that on the weekly. If we flip to that on the daily, you can see we do still have the 22 bar sloping up, but we don't in the MACD. So that's why, if you back up here real quick, that's why we would show neutral on a daily mindset. Just to review, VTI did hold the 22-day yesterday and recovered some. That was kind of good to see. It's a little encouraging. The same thing with the SPY. Came down to around that 22-day area and then finished off of it pretty decent. Taking a look at QQQ, it actually dipped a little underneath the 11-day, which it has not touched in quite a while anyway, and closed above the 5-day. 22-day on that is down around 129.33, and that's still a base here at the 129 level. So the Qs are still looking okay. Price-wise, I'd like to see the MACD kind of shift around a little bit there, though. Small caps, wow. IWM is just 6 days down now. The 50-day is starting to bend on it. Psychologically, that 134 to 138 was the level before. We'll have to see, what happens with it here. It's not something that I mean, I was in it a little bit yesterday, and then it kind of petered out, and I exited because we are underneath the 50-day moving average. Real estate, here's another one that's 8 days down now. It is at a Fibonacci level. If that doesn't hold, there's a little bit of support for it here around 76. Other than that, you're looking at the next Fibonacci level around 75. I have to see if that can recover at some point. IBB is always interesting. If we take a look at the weekly on that, 320 is still that next area of interest, and the MACD on that is positive. So we do have a buy signal here on the weekly, and if you take a look at that on the daily, we can see that it did close above the 5-day, which is pretty good. So kind of neutral here, but it's promising. And with that having a next level backing up here to of around 320, I mean, this might be worth a shot again here. We'll have to see what happens. Financials closed a little bit above the 5-day. I exited the financials yesterday. It's because I didn't want to take too much into this report. I mean, it did close kind of on this big indecision candle. We'll have to see, here again, what happens here this morning with that. I threw the industrials on the list here today because it came back, after testing this level here, just above 65. I mean, it did come back and close around that 22-day. Keeping it on watch at the moment anyway. Utilities on the weekly, it's at the 5-week average area, also at a Fibonacci point with a positive MACD. If we take a look at that on the daily, that corresponds with it closing right at the 22-day area. So we'll see if we can get anything off of that. There's a few more bases, come on down here too as well before it gets to just above that 49.50 area. So that'll do it for this morning's morning notes. You can connect with me on Twitter and Facebook at Whitley Trading. Emails can be sent to jimwhitleytrading@gmail.com. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later.